Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to learn about Java scanner class. Alright, so we'll learn how to use Java scanner class to read a user input. So this video is especially for the Java beginners who want to know how to read different type of inputs such as primitive types as well as strings using Java scanner class. So in this video tutorial we'll learn scanner class overview, how does scanner class works, how to use Java scanner class to read input, and how to read the file line by line with an example, and how to convert input stream into string. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in this video tutorial. So first let us see scanner class overview. So scanner class is a built-in class which we can find in java.util package, and Java provides various ways to read input from the keyboard, and scanner class is one of them. So Java scanner class breaks the input into tokens using delimiter, which is white space by default. It provides various next methods to read and parse various primitive values as well as strings. Alright, so basically scanner class breaks the input into tokens using delimiter, which is white space by default. So let me show you the internal implementation of scanner class and how it uses a white space as a delimiter to break the input into tokens. So look at here the scanner class object creation logic. So here we have created an object of the scanner, and if you look at the internal implementation of scanner class, so let me just dig into scanner class implementation. So look at here. So scanner class internally uses white space delimiter to break the input into tokens. Alright, by default scanner uses white space delimiter to break user input into tokens. Okay, and it uses various next methods to parse input into different primitive types or strings, for example. So it provides various next methods. So look at here: next line, next boolean, next byte, next short, long, float, double, big integer, big decimal. So these are the next methods scanner class provides to parse input into various primitive types as well as strings. Alright, so scanner class is widely used to parse a text for strings and primitive types using regular expression. It is the simplest way to get input in a Java. With the help of scanner class in Java, we can get input from the user in primitive types as well as strings. So how does a scanner class works? So as I mentioned earlier, scanner breaks its input into tokens using delimiter pattern, which is default matches white space, and the parsed tokens can be converted into primitive types and strings using various next methods. Alright, so as I already explained this example, so scanner class internally uses a white space delimiter to break the input into various tokens. So look at here the white space pattern. So scanner class uses white space delimiter to break break the user input into tokens, and it uses various next methods to pass the token into various token into primitive types and strings. Now let us see how to use Java scanner class to read input. So here is the Java program to read primitive types and strings from user's input. So this example demonstrates how to read primitive types as well as strings from the user input. So let me show you these examples in action using Eclipse IDE. So this is the very simple program. So what we have done is we have created a scanner class object, and here we have passed system.in as a argument to the scanner class constructor. So what is the system.in? So it's a standard input stream. So this stream is already open and ready to supply input data. Okay, and typically this stream corresponds to keyboard input and or other input source specified by the host user. Okay, so we can use system.in to read data from the keyboard or user. Alright, and here are the different next methods we have used to read primitive types as well as strings. For example, here we use next line method to read a string from the user input, and here we use next int method to scan a next token of the input as an integer. So we use next int method to read a user input as an integer, and here we use next long method to read a user input as a long, and here we use next float method to read a user input as a float, and here we use next byte method to read a user input as a byte, and we use next short method to read a user input as a short. Next boolean method we use to read a user input as a boolean. Next big decimal method we use to read a input as a big decimal, and finally next big integer we use to read a user input as a big integer. So these are the different these are the various next methods to read a user input as a primitive types as well as strings. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's run this program and let's see the output. So right click, run as Java application, and enter string input. So let's go ahead and let's enter some string here. So I'm going to say Ramesh, and let's enter some integer input 100, and let's say long, so I will give again 1000 here, and let's give a float, so you can give any float, and here I will give one as a byte short, and boolean I will give a true, and I will give a big decimal as 10.0, and big integer I will use some big number here. Alright, so this is how we basically read a data from the console or user input, and we can also print this data to the console. So let me show you how to do that. So I will just print the data to the screen so that you will understand. So I will provide a sysout directly here. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's run this Java program again, and let's enter our input string. So I'm going to say Ramesh, and as soon as we read an input string, we print to the console like this, and let's enter integer 100, and this will print again to the console, and enter long here, so let's enter some long input, and let's enter some float here, and byte, enter short, and boolean I'll say boolean true, and big decimal, and I will enter some big integer. Alright, so this is how we can read different types of data like primitive types as well as strings from the user input. Alright, so now let us see how to read the file line by line with an example using scanner class. So here is a Java program which uses next line method to read a text file line by line and add all lines to the list of strings. Okay, so basically we create a sample.txt file, and we read this file using scanner class, and we use next line method to read a text file line by line, and we print lines to the console. So very simple example. So let us see this example in action using Eclipse IDE. So look at here, sample.txt file is created in Java tutorials project, inside a Java tutorials project, and we are going to read this text file. Alright, so inside this text file we have hello Java guides, and I will create one more line and I'll say tutorials. So these are the 3 lines we are going to read using scanner class. Okay, so again we use next line method to read a line by line from the sample.txt file and will print to the console. So let's go ahead and let's run this program. Right click, run as Java application. Yeah, here we go. So look at here, the text file lines are printed on a console. Okay, so this is how we can use a scanner class to read a file line by line and print lines to the console. So very simple example. So next, say how to convert an input stream into string using scanner class. So here is the sample Java program to convert an input stream into string using scanner class. So look at here, first we create an input stream. So we create a sample.txt file and we pass as an input to the file input stream like this. Okay, and we create a scanner class object and we pass input stream as a parameter to the scanner class constructor, and here we are using delimiter as a. Okay, and we use next method to convert input stream into string. So look at here, the result is string, right? Alright, so this is how we can convert input stream into string using scanner class. So let us see this example in an action using Eclipse IDE. So we create an instance of input stream and we pass that instance to the scanner class constructor, and we use next method to convert input stream into string. It's pretty simple example. So let's go ahead and let's run this application or program. So look at here. Alright, so what we have done is we have basically created an input stream which uses sample.txt file as a parameter, and we just use a next method to read a line by line from the sample.txt file and we print it to the console. Pretty simple. Alright, so this is how we can use a scanner class to perform different operations. Like we can use a scanner class to read input from the user or a keyboard, and we can use a scanner class to read a file line by line, and we can also use input stream to read the file, and we can convert input stream into string using scanner class. Alright, so scanner class is one of the important concept or one of the important topic for the Java beginners. So I hope you find this tutorial useful. So if you have any queries regarding this tutorial, let me know in the comment section. I will try to clarify your doubts. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.